Hi, welcome to the last lesson in chapter 4. This is dealing with verbs with irregular yo forms, and sometimes these verbs are also called go verbs. You've actually already seen two go verbs. We worked with tener, which is to have, and we also worked with venir, which is to come. And those are both stem-changing go verbs. So if you remember, when you want to use the yo form, or say I have, you'll say tengo instead of tengo. And then if you want to say I come, it's going to be vengo instead of veno. So these are words that have go on the end instead of just o in the yo form. So here are a few examples. The first one that I have is poner, which means to put to place or to set. It has a lot of different times that it's used, and it's got a lot of different meanings other than the three that are listed, but these are the most common. So if you'll notice, this is an ER ending verb. So it's going to operate under the same rules as other verbs that end with ER. So our endings are going to be the same except for the yo form. Just add a G instead of adding simply an O ending. So instead of yo pono for I put, it's going to be yo pongo. So yes, it's like the puppy in 101 Dalmatians, if you like that movie. So if I want to say that you put, tú pones, it's just going to be normal like any other ER verb, or he puts, él pone, she puts, ella pone. Just look out for that yo form, pongo. So that goes for any other verb that has poner in it. So this word is suponer, which is to suppose, operates just exactly like poner. Just put an SU on the beginning. So instead of supono, it's supongo. Tú supones. Él, ella supone. The next one is salir, which means to leave, like to leave a building, or exit, or it can mean like going out, as in going out with your friends and having a good time. So the only thing that's different about this verb is that it's got a G in the yo form. So instead of I go out, salo, it will be yo salgo with a GO ending. All the rest of the endings are going to operate like an IR verb, because this is originally a verb that ends with an IR. If you remember back to when we studied ER and IR verbs in November and December, the endings of ER and IR verbs are very similar. The differences are lying in the nosotros and the vosotros form. In ER verbs, those have an E, like, or for nosotros form it would be an EMOS. For IR verbs, it's IMOS. Vosotros, it's EIS. And an IR verb is just plain IS with an accent. The next verb we're looking at is hacer. This is a very common verb in Spanish. Means to do and it means to make. Based on context, there's something additional that happens with this verb. Not only in the yo form does it have a G, but you also delete the C. The reason behind that is because it's a hard C when you put a C next to a G, and that would mean it makes the same sound twice. So, to avoid redundancy, they remove the C, and it's just hago for I do or I make. The rest of the forms are absolutely the same as they would be for any other ER verb. The only time that you put a G in any of these verbs is in the yo form. To form, nosotros, ellos, none of those will have a G in them, just the yo form. The last verb, and this one is also slightly different in the yo form, instead of just having GO, you add an I. Why do we do that? The reason being is because if you had TRAGO, that actually is another word, trago, and it means to swallow, tragar. So in order to make this have the sound of the original verb traer, which means to bring, we want to have an I to bring that hard sound towards the end. So you've got I bring, which is yo traigo. The rest of these are normal ER verb endings. So the to form, él, ella, nosotros, vosotros, and ellos forms all will operate the same way a normal ER verb operates.